Well, I'm going to do another snow scene today. Seem to be very popular, and I'm going to show you how you could use your paintings to make your own Christmas cards. So keep watching as this section's near the end of the video. So start off with a quick sketch. I'll just be making the mountain range coming down on the top right hand side, and then I'll make a line across for the snow area and a quick sketch for the log cabin. Right, let's get started. So just going to reduce the picture a bit so you can see it. Right, top right hand corner, just going to keep coming down here, some ragged edges about here, and then there's a bit that comes to about there, and that would do. Now the line for the snow, I'm just going to put this about here, take it up, and I'm going to start the cabin about here, so keeping it very simple, a few lines. And I think that will do. So the colour I'm using for the sky is Cobalt Blue, and I've mixed up a big wash, and I'm going to use a flat 3/4 inch brush to paint the sky in. Before I start, I'm just going to put some clear water up here to about here, and the reason for that is I want it to be a bit paler, lower value, just above the mountains. Right, let's get started. Cobalt Blue, and here we go up the top. So I'll try and do this quickly. You'll see that I'm moving very quickly along the top here. Come to the ridges. Just take your time. Same here, just going to cut in now. Just trying to make a lot of these nice craggy, rocky areas, which will be good later on. There we are. Right, just going to keep coming down now. Keep the paint moving, you don't want it to stay still. This bit here, what we call the bead. Right, so I'm just going to go into the area now where I put the clear water, and hopefully that will be a bit lighter in colour. There we are. The reason for that is, I think I've mentioned in quite a few paintings before, the sky is always darker further up, and as you get down to the horizon it becomes paler colour. Right, that'll do. Just going to leave that. That's quite nice. I'm going to paint in the shadow areas on the snow-covered mountains, but before I do that, you'll see that I've just put 1 or 2 lines in here just to give me an indication of where the rocky areas break up, so that I can put the shadow, the grey areas. So that will do nicely. I just swung the camera around a bit to let you see how I'm going to mix up this grey colour for the shadows. So I'm keeping the cobalt blue and I'm using a little bit of a colour called light red, and when you mix that in with that, you get a super grey colour, a nice warm grey. There we are. So the sun light is coming in from the right hand side, so the shadow areas will be up behind some of these rocky crag areas on the left. So let's get started. I'm going to paint a bit here. Just a little bit too dark there. I'm just going to put some water in. That's a bit better. So I'll just carry on down here. Put an area up here. I'm not looking at the picture here, I'm just making this up as I go. So I don't want to look at the picture is too complicated, too many areas to fill in, so let's just stick with this. As I say, keep them on the left or behind the craggy areas. Another bit here, which is quite good in the shade. Just going to soften some of these off. What I mean by soften off is you just get some water, and while the paint's still wet, just put the water in and it softens it off. It gives you some super effects. Right, I'm just going to carry on across here now. There's some big ragged areas in the shade. A bit there. One or two bit there. Right. This bit should be in the shade down here, the light coming this way. And up here. Getting down nearer towards where the fir trees are, so this will be far enough, I would think. Just spotted an error. I don't know if you can see it. This is one of the problems of trying to do too much too quickly with watercolour. This area here, that's what we call a cauliflower. You don't want these. What's happened there is this is not dry. I should have let that dry, but I was just trying to get it done quickly. And what's happened is the wet paint that I've just put in for the grey has merged into the blue, and you get this area that you don't want. I was looking for hard edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let that dry, and then I'll paint over it and try and suggest a bigger rocky area. So that's the hills in the background done. You can see that I've managed to put some darker shadow in there and got rid of that cauliflower area that's spread about, so not too bad. Right, I'm going to move down a bit to the foreground now. Just want to adjust the camera again. Right, so I've got a big wash of grey again, and I'm just going to start in this right hand corner. There's a nice bit just in front of the cabin where the snow is white, so I'm going to really bright white against the There's some shadows here. This bit here, I'm going to leave that. This bit's in the shade. Right, I'm just going to soften that off a bit. And there's another little mound about here, which is quite nice. That'll do. You don't want to cover all the paper, and that's one of the problems in painting snow scenes. A lot of people want to fill all the white in. You've got to keep the white of the paper clear and clean and fresh. There's a bit on the roof that I'm just going to tackle just now while I've got this grey colour. As I said, the light is coming sharp here, and so this part will be in the shade, but just about here at the front, this shows you how deep the snow is on the roof, and I don't want to cover it all in. So I'm just going to leave that just now, like that, and that should hopefully do that. And that keeps this bit nice and clean, white paper, same there. The sunlight's coming this way, so that'll do nicely. Next I'm going to paint the cabin, and I've mixed up a brownish grey colour. I'm going to be very careful here. That's not too bad. I don't want to get this brown seeping up into the grey, so I'm going to be careful. That's not too bad. So I'm just going to stop here. And that's the side in the shade, sun coming this way, so this is in the shade. So what I'm going to do is just add some water to that colour, make it lighter in tonal value, and I'm going to paint the front of the cottage, the cabin, and you'll see that I'm dragging the brush down here. What I'm trying to do is just get the shape, which is a log cabin. It's made up with logs which are straight up and down, so it's good to have some little white bits showing. Right, now just before I finish, I just want to tell you a thing not to do. I see a lot of students doing this. They mix up a dark colour and paint a line down here, and then up here and here. This bit here is not too bad, but you never see a dark line, so try to avoid that. How you get the edges in any painting is by adding a darker colour. So what I'm going to do is just exaggerate this a bit, so we can get, and there's the nice dark that we have. Don't need to draw a dark line down there. So that's a definite no-no. Don't do that. Now I notice at the end here some of them actually start to go along the way horizontal, so I'm going to put some in and we'll just stop that there for now. Right, it's not too bad. So I'm just going to have a short break here, have a coffee just for a few minutes. But it's also just to remind you that I've got a section at the end that explains a bit more how you can make your own cards using your finished painting. So have a look at the end and I'm sure it will be of some interest to you. The next area is the trees. There's quite a lot of fir trees. I'll just let you see the picture. It seems to be straight along here. I'm not going to paint them all in. I'll paint quite a few, but I'll leave some gaps as well. So how to do that is basically I've mixed up a dark green with some brown and phthalo blue. So what I'm going to do first of all is just establish this area here where there is a lot of them. And I'm going to carefully paint down the side of the cabin. And I just want to come in there a bit. But that's fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to flick some colour up here. And I'm going to take them along to about here, the trees. And that will do just now. And that's got that lovely little edge. That's super. Right, I'm going to start along here. Just to finish this off, I'm just going to flick some colour up there. I'm going to stop and put some more in along here. What I'm going to do is get the rigger brush out and just add a little bit of detail. I'm just kind of blocking this bit in just now, and then I'm going to go to the end of the cabin and same again. I'm just going to protect the white. I'm going to take them up to about here, fix some bits up. Why I'm doing this is I'll explain in just a minute. And single in there. Take this down here. You just have to paint around that bit. Right, we're finished now. Right, why I did that is this is really good in paintings. Contrast. And contrast is all about darks against lights. Now here we have a super dark green against the white of the roof, more dark green trees, that's why I painted that bit in. We've also got some contrast there with mid-tones, a dark against a middle tone, and that's what you have to try and achieve in your paintings, contrast. So as I said, I'm just going to get the rigger brush now and just add some detail to the pointy bits on the fir trees in the background. So what you can see I'm doing is I'm just taking the brush up to the top, making a point and working my way down And same here. So I'm just going to finish these off. It's quite, once you manage to get one done, it's quite straightforward doing this. And as you can see, that's quite attractive looking. So I'm just going to finish off here. I'll get this one done. Yeah. Just quickly. We're at the finishing stages now. Just some shadows to go in here, and add a bit of detail to the logs on the cabin, and that will be it. So I've got this nice grey colour again, and put a couple of shadows in here. And there's a bit along the side of the reflection of the shadow of the side of the cabin, and it seems to go down here, and that's it. Couple of bits over here, shadows of the trees. I'm going to put some detail in for the cabin now. A really dark section here, one or two bits. I'm going to use the rigger in a minute, but there's one or two thicker. Right, I'm just going to switch over to the rigger and get some nice lines for this number 4 brush and just one or two little thicker bits at the bottom, which right, that's not too bad. Now across to the last bit, the side. There's there's like a door here. I'm just going to put the edge in, and then the logs come along the way here. And right, I think that's about it. Yep, brush down, finished. So here's the finished painting, along with the picture that we used as a reference, and it's turned out quite nice, so why not have a go? So hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I've got 1 or 2 other short paintings coming up, so keep watching the channel. Thanks again. If you wanted to produce Christmas cards with your painting, if you don't have a printer or a laptop or a desktop, I would suggest you just get in touch with a local printer in your area. You would have to take a picture of your painting, use your camera, your mobile, and save it and take it to the printers, or even online. There are plenty printers who would happily produce the cards for you. This one here, this is my painting. I want to produce a square card again, so I've taken a picture like of so, square, and I've actually produced 1 or 2 just to see what it looks like. And there we go. It's again, it's this I think it's a 5.5 square size card, which folds up nicely, and there we are. So I'm sure you'll enjoy having a go, and when you get the finished cards back, they'll be warmly appreciated by your family and friends.